Yo, Internet, what's going on? Welcome back to the John Grave Show. Today I'm just talking a little bit about some crazy news that came out a little while ago. Something about a female Joker, or at least some woman upon Twitter was trying to promote a female Joker popping up like in the next Batman movie, or at least the one that's supposed to be coming up with the titular Twilight star Robert Pattinson. Because apparently like we haven't seen that before, I mean, mind you that technically we've already had a female Joker. In this case it's Harley Quinn, obviously, but then again, because since that, a lot of them believe that her entire character is under Joker, they kind of don't accept her as a female Joker, which is pretty interesting because technically over the years, like, there were two other characters that actually carry the Joker title who just so happen to be female. Well, the first one isn't necessarily someone who carries the title of Joker, but her name is Duela Dent, known as Joker's daughter. Originally she was part of Titans East and she went by the name of the Harley Quinn, and then they kind of like redid her character to where that she's kind of more mainstream. She's more of a mixture between the acrobatic side of Harley Quinn and the crazy side of Joker. The second character to carry the Joker title, in this case the actual female, was of course Martha Wayne, the mother of Bruce Wayne. Which, because the whole thing was that Bruce died instead of his parents, and then his father, as everyone knows that they saw the Flashpoint movie, his father Thomas becomes Batman and his mother becomes the Joker, obviously, right? But the woman who made this post on Twitter, it seems as though is that she never actually read any of the comics, and the people obviously were angry about her reasons for doing it, which I kind of feel them for it, because obviously, she does respond to their backlash, but in the same reason, or at least how this always goes, they never really understand why they're angry, and they think that it's because of something else. And the person in question who tweeted this was a woman named Geraldine, and she kind of was talking about how that there should be a female Joker, going on to say that the Joker should have been a woman, and she finally went insane because too many random dudes told her to smile, so now she potentially smiles while terrorizing Gotham. Okay, she became a sort of folk hero for women, the women in Gotham. She unleashes financial records for companies that don't compensate women properly. She blackmails cheaters and misogynists. She threatens the goddamn patriarchy. It's terrifying and wonderful. The Batman needs to stop her and restore the order of things, but on some level, she's conflicted, or at least he's conflicted. She's a villain, but she's right. And of course her catchphrase would be well, actually, that kind of thing, which, to be fair, it's like, I'm okay if you want to make your own character that does that specifically, because the panel here comes from the Batman, the Flashpoint moment where basically Thomas is talking to Martha, and he tells her hey, that there's a future where basically, or at least there's a possible realm where our son doesn't die. Spoiler alert, she does actually kind of snap back into her senses after hearing that, because it's my son. My son was basically the reason for me going insane in the first place. So if there's a chance of him coming back, well, she's gonna she's gonna try to be on her best behavior because of her child. That's the whole thing of Martha becoming the Joker, because of the cruel joke of of her losing her son and that making her go crazy. That seems a bit more likable than basically a woman working at a Wendy's or a amusement park, and then basically a few guys or women tell her to smile and whatnot, and then she just goes crazy and just starts stabbing people. That doesn't really feel right, especially when you really think about it. And it's the patriarchy stuff really doesn't make much sense if you try and tie it with the Joker, because the Joker, who the character is at its core, no matter whether it be male or female, it is insanity, and it is, I am going to destroy things because I want to, or at least at the very least I feel as though I have been wronged by the world because I had one bad day. It's one thing that kind of carried over from the Killing Joke, that is something that is plagued within Martha. I lost my son, and then basically that's the problem with the world, you know. As for Duella Dent, probably not so much, but then you look at Harley Quinn and it's like, well, yeah, I love this man, so I'm gonna do everything I can to make him happy. That can say like that kind of thing, right? But like the previous two are still crazy in their own right. Martha and the proper titular Joker, who really doesn't have a name, like those guys are, to a certain extent, it's like, well, now, like, I've been wronged, I don't like this, and they're mass murderers. They kidnap people, they set them up like so like they set people up to get shot, they set people up to get burned alive, and all the rest of this other stuff. And it's like, I don't really think that making a character whose catchphrase is, well, actually, is really going to do much. It's not helping anything. But going on with this, you know, she kind of went on to do what they always do. They don't necessarily understand the reason why people are mad, and she's trying to flip it to make it be about something else. Going on to say, oh my God, y'all. I suggested a girl should be in a comic. And they are so mad, and I can't stop laughing. The only sustenance I need today is fragile male tweets and hot pockets. She went on to also say, oh my God, what if I'm the Joker and I wrote my own origin story without realizing it? LOL, these guys in my mentions are so mad that I suggested a girl Joker wouldn't last a effing day, a day as a woman. Their fragile male rage just makes me stronger. And that's just kind of where that goes. It's actually kind of sad, kind of how it peters off. But basically, it's like, yeah, you having a female Joker is not a problem. Martha is actually pretty interesting because of the fact of what actually made her turn out that way. The death of her son. I mean, Harley Quinn's isn't like as so glorious, you know. She got the D and then went crazy. Be careful, women. It can ruin lives, you know. That's just what it is, you know. But yeah, like I can see that, like, or like Joker's daughter, or you know, the titular character who was believed to be Joker's daughter, like back in the Titans. So it's a common thing, right? But on a crazier note, Punisher co-creator Jerry Conway wants a female Alfred in Matt Reeves' upcoming Batman film starring Robert Pattinson. Now, technically, if I look at this, I don't really see this as being too bad of an idea because, again, hey man, like Maggie Smith as a female Alfred, that's not a bad thing. Just remember that Alfred, instead of him being a butler now, she's going to be a maid, you know. And some people kind of have a problem, man, with maids as it is already because, you know, a butler or a maid basically means, man, like that someone has privilege over somebody else and they're taking care of them, you know. Even though technically Alfred is more than just a butler to Bruce. Like, Alfred is technically a surrogate father, you know, or like a high-end uncle, you know. The same thing can be said if they have to change Alfred into a female, or at least that's something that I hope that they remember. Now, the pure things that I kind of worry about, though, and they did kind of pull this with the Batwoman thing, like within the trailer of, you know, I'm not gonna let a man take credit for a woman's work, even though she's kind of using somebody else's gadget's name, and also place of residence, obviously, you know. And then kind of cutting that from that and just saying, well, now Alfred could do better than that, or Alfred shouldn't be trying to help out Bruce or whatnot. Because again, if basically you got this previous Joker like that's trying to run the patriarchy, like running around and whatnot, don't give Alfie, man, like any cues there, because then it might just turn into, well, now Batman can't necessarily beat this kind of person. This all boils down to basically the hard-working woman Alfie to basically beat the Joker. Knowing them, they might just do some crazy stuff like that, but that's kind of where I'm kind of going to leave that at, because really, I don't really have a problem with it. Like, if there's a female Alfred, just kind of just remember that Alfred is there to support Bruce and that Alfred doesn't want him to be Batman. Just understand that. And if you really want to solidify that, just look at Mask of the Phantasm, like, or look at like all the recent comics with Batman becoming the Batman who laughs. Joker really doesn't want Bruce to deal with this, or at least like he doesn't want him to be the one to do this. So that's understandable. As long as they keep that like prominent, there probably might not be any problems with it, but it's hard to say. But that is where I'm going to leave this off at. I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.